All over the face.
Aww.
Nothing but
my
face.
verse done.
I found it. It's hiding.
Welcome to Badger's Burrow Podcast. Number 55.
Did you just start that as I said I found it? It's hiding.
No, I started it as Alex said, not the face, and then Ross just coughed. That was pretty good. What's wrong with you, Ross? You're coughing.
I'm ill.
What are you ill of?
Illness.
I knew the words that I wanted didn't come out.
Yeah.
Right. But hey.
I'm just ill.
Oh.
Life.
Get well soon, pal.
Yeah, I'm sure I will.
Well, I'll certainly try.
I mean, I will or I die. It's as simple as that.
I will if I die.
Or I die.
Alright.
I either get better or I get worse.
That's pretty much how illness works.
There are two directions.
There is no third path I can take.
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, chronic illnesses don't get better or worse, to be fair.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, but you eventually die. So
I mean, you're probably
it
healthy and eventually die.
Right, Alex,
yeah,
I want
to
to backtrack really quickly into the conversation we were about to have before I started the recording. You've got a friend who's technically a pirate.
Yeah.
Right. Elaborate.
Alright, okay. Basically, that's... Right, there we go. I need my headphones. Basically, when this boy drinks, he's a liability. He's great, but he's a fucking liability. What had happened was, he was out with one of his pals, just getting stocious. I should point out that he lives... I can't really say where he lives. Where he lived. It's like... It's a seaside area. You know, like across the water is another seaside area. You know, a little cove type thing. So he was in the little seaside area that's across from his little seaside area with a friend, getting utterly smashed. To the point where they were getting like refused drinks. So they think, right, fuck it, let's go home. So go get the ferry. They've missed the last ferry. So they go to try and find somewhere to stay. They could find nowhere to stay because everyone was wanting like ridiculous prices for, you know, a room at that time. There was no room in. Virgin Mary was being fucked. They then decide like it's either sleep in a bus stop or steal a boat.
How do you come down to that as your last two options?
Not important. What's important is they stole the boat. So there's these two fucking drunk idiots trying to push a little fucking boat into the Irish Sea. They get sort of halfway across the sort of strait they need to go across. Fucking flare goes up. Fishing boat comes and gets them and takes them across where they're going. You know, they're handcuffed, thrown in the back of a police van. He got a 6 month suspended sentence. So to me, that technically makes him a pirate.
The pirates
I can see that.
I can see it, but did pirates not typically steal other people's boats from their own boats?
And
they had no boat.
More successfully.
They had no boat and then stole someone else's boat.
Listen, he just said he was a pirate. He never said he was a good pirate.
Exactly.
It's true.
That's very true. Like, I think a pirate is something that I would very much like to be if my life was a lot different. Does that make any sense?
No.
I feel like that didn't come out right at all.
To be fair, if you were going to be a pirate, your life would be a lot fucking different anyway.
Yeah.
First of all, you smell funny.
I guess it's just one of those things that like it's something that I find really, really appealing. Like, I just think the life of a pirate looks really fucking exciting and like just generally sounds really fucking like great.
What, stealing boats and generally being unwashed?
Yeah.
Fucking alright.
Lots of time at sea.
Book a flight to fucking Somalia then. See what happens.
You get a cutlass.
Not anymore. You don't.
Well, no, but that's
If anything, now it's better because you get
anything,
like
now
an
it's
AK-47 and an RPG.
yeah, but nah, like I'm on
I
about
prefer.
like your old timey pirates. Like I love that shit. Hunting for treasure.
Yeah, but then you'd have scurvy,
Seven
Jamie.
Seas. I'd be dead. Would I fuck be surviving?
Like scurvy's not to be fucked with.
No, it's not.
What's everybody been doing these last couple of weeks?
Working.
I'm back
Not
at
that that'll
work.
be any surprise.
Me and Jess have spent the last 2 days painting Warhammer figurines.
Nerds.
That's fucking awesome.
We're getting better. Our painting skills are getting better.
I really want to like know whether or not the first figure was just dipped in the paint
No.
and brought back.
The first figures were the easiest figures to make, which were like fucking drones. There wasn't very many intricacies to them.
So are you like getting into the whole Warhammer thing like full time, or are you just painting the figures, or what's going on now?
I used to play it a lot. Back in high school, I used to have a Space Marine army and an Orc army. Sold them, made a lot of money off them. And then one day we were walking past, Jess asked what that shop was for, and I explained it all. And she was like, "Oh, that sounds like fun. Let's go have a look." So we went and had a look, and we decided, fuck it. We'll get a wee squad and we'll sit and paint them and fucking put them on the shelf. And that's how it's happened.
So you're not getting back into it as like a game. You're just having them as decoration, just as a kind of semi hobby.
I might get back into them as a game. I don't know. We'll see. At the minute, I'm just having fun building them.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
So that's what I've been doing.
Really been having fun.
Yeah. Fun's fun.
You say fun is fun.
Yeah, fun is
That's.
fun.
He's not wrong.
I'm not. I'd like you to try and prove me wrong and find something that's fun that isn't fun.
I'm not even going to do that. I'm not going to try. I mean, I would say doing things that you find fun as a hobby and then making them your job can take a bit of the fun out of them.
What are you trying to say?
Like,
But at some point, sucking dick for money won't be fun.
yeah, pretty much. Like,
Fair enough.
It's gonna take a lot of dick sucking to not be fun though. That's always fun.
now I just remember like when I studied music,
Uh-huh.
I remember kind of feeling like a bit of the fun of listening to music was sucked out of it for me, because after you know so much and are just kind of in that rhythm of constantly analysing every single thing that you hear, you can't help but just analyse music as you listen to it. And I felt like it did take a little bit of the enjoyment of listening to music out of it for a while. I'd say that's gone now because I haven't done it for so long. I don't find that with it just now, but that was definitely something that was a problem at the time.
See, for me, I find that I went very much the opposite way. Like, I did analyse, I still do, analyse music quite a bit. But to me, that was kind of the fun part of it, because while I throw the nerd around as an insult a lot, just for shits and gigs, I would say I'm a bit of a music nerd. I like to sort of break it all down into its component parts.
I mean, I like doing that with some things. Like, I think for me, it's kind of like how shit works.
Yeah.
Like, and like whether that's like an engine or like a computer's like motherboard or something like that. Like, I love analysing exactly what bit does what and what goes where.
Aye.
Like, even if I didn't know how to like make one or recreate one, like ultimately I'm never going to be able to do stuff like that. I'm never going to be able to make like my own silicon chip or anything. But I like knowing what does what. I just find that really fucking fascinating.
I'm just sitting here now wishing that, like, you know, show fucking how it's made. I'm sitting here wishing that was. I'm sitting here now wishing that was fucking like titled "How Shit's Made." I like how it works, how shit works.
I mean, you could make that show.
You could.
I could. But given that there's a lot, oh yeah, there's that. But there's a lot of cunts that they like to complain about shit that at the end of the day is not fucking important, like someone's fanny slipping out on Babe Station.
How does that shit work?
Yeah, exactly. Fucking a fanny would fall out in Babe Station, and someone come to phone up and complain that a fanny fell out in Babe Station. It's like that's a win in my opinion. Who's watching Babe Station and getting offended by fucking badges? Seriously.
No, there's somebody though, is there?
Like titties are fair play, but a little bit of lip, nah, I can't have that.
I don't know.
I'm like the opposite. I want all flaps all the time.
No, like I get what you mean though. Like people are like, I guess it is something that I genuinely actually kind of worry about. Like when we do stuff like this, because like I'm not so worried about it now, but definitely when we first started, there was just always that thing in the back of my mind of I want to say as little as possible while trying to say as much as possible, because I just don't want to say anything that would offend anybody. Whereas,
well, see, here's the thing. We see, because we are online and at the end of the day, not really held to account by any regulatory body. I think that we can say whatever the fuck we want.
Yeah, we can.
No, yeah, I understand that. It's just that, like, I don't know. It's just like, especially when like people are kind of like asking you what you get up to in your spare time, and you, like, I don't know about you guys so much, but like fucking Badger and Pals probably comes up in conversation with me at least once a week now.
No.
Like I reckon the folk that I work with bring that up to me quite a bit. I don't know if it's just their particular thing, but it's just one of those things where it's like they ask quite a lot of questions about it, and I'm just like, fucking one of them's going to go and look at it, and one of them might be offended by it, or they might like actually listen to something that I've said on there and just like have a totally different opinion of me, and I don't know. I think that just freaks me out.
My trainers watch the videos.
So to Shauni's trainers and any potential colleagues of Jamie, if you don't like anything that we have said, from the bottom of my heart, you can go and fuck yourself, man. 'Cause I really don't care.
A little round of applause. Oh shit!
But
My trainer actually enjoyed the videos. Just going to say that now.
Hey, Shauni's trainer, you're pretty great. I love you.
I bet that was our other subscriber that we found did.
Maybe.
No, that was Nads.
Oh, excellent.
Who's
Fucking great.
Fucking we get followed by testicles? Sweet.
And that's our unsubscribed.
It's not a problem.
Keep it. Don't ever change.
That is just that though. Like I don't get this whole like offense and outrage culture. I understand the irony here that I'm getting annoyed about outrage culture, but fucking bear with me.
Nads can take a joke. On the back of her motorbike helmet, it says Shagwar.
Nice. What's your ride?
It's just a 125. I don't know what it actually is.
Oh, there's a fucking story.
Oh.
Yeah.
So,
Excitement.
sorry to interrupt, Ross. Someone just drove down our street backwards.
Actually, though,
Reversing.
it's the thing.
Yeah.
No,
Try
but
something.
at quite a speed.
It's called
Places to
Gunning.
be.
Yeah. Children's run over. Anyway, I was in the tin the other day.
You were in Tinder the other day, did you say?
The tune.
In the tune.
Oh, right.
Right. Parked my bike up. Went and did my business, what I had to do. Grabbed the shit. Came back to the bike.
Shit.
No, I grabbed some shite. Came back to the bike. And there was a dude getting on his bike. And he had parked next to mine.
Mm-hmm.
And as I was, saddling up, I noticed something a bit peculiar. And that his left hand was blue. And then it wasn't blue and it wasn't a hand, it was a hook. And I had to try and watch him ride this motorbike with a hook for a hand. Because I was fucking mesmerised. I wanted to see how he did it. So I sat for 15 minutes waiting to see how this dude would ride a bike.
Was it entertaining?
Yeah, I mean, he fucking rode it like it was nothing. I was left mesmerised.
I mean, I guess if that's always how you've done it, I mean, because like he might have been born like that. Like
I know he might have been born
Yeah,
with a hook.
you just felt the fanny with a hook in his hand.
No, but I mean, like, he
It
might have
does some
been
real damage to his mum.
He might have been
I was
born
going to
without
say,
his
poor
leg.
mum.
But yeah, I was amazed by it.
I wonder,
Like,
I wonder if he lost it in a motorcycle accident. Because if he did, that is the fucking king of getting back on the fucking bike.
No,
right there.
I was going to say, what if he lost it in a car accident because cars are safer than bikes, not push. Irony.
That would be rather ironic. There's so many questions asked by this. Like, I want to speak to these people.
Do you think any of our listeners have hooks for hands?
I hope so.
If you've got
If so, please write to us.
Yeah, I was ready to say, if you've got a hook for a hand, or were born without a limb, please write in to Badgerin Pals. And
know that I will mock you in some way.
Share your story. No, I'm genuinely interested. Alex will mock the fuck out of you, but
Yeah. Not able to, 'cause I'm a fucking retard too, so it's fine.
well, I've got to say, lads, Games for Gold. Games for Gold this month's actually been a little bit shite.
You've been shite.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
What do you mean it's been shite? Did we not get Slime Rancher from it?
Yeah, no, right, I'll get onto that, right? But I'm just looking at the other selections, right? Bayonetta, pretty fucking good. Runbow.
Yeah, fucking great game.
Runbow.
Rumble was last month.
No, it's still on. It's still there.
Yeah, but it was put on last month, so fuck you, my point's valid.
Yep.
Technically correct. Best game correct.
And then coming up on the 16th is Trials Fusion and Red Faction Armageddon on the 360. Like,
Yeah.
I already own Trials Fusion. I think it came with my Xbox, because it was just like, it was one of the few games that were kind of out round about launch for the Xbox.
You owning the game doesn't really make it shite. I mean,
No, I'm not saying it's shite. I'm just thinking it's a bit of an odder choice is all, because it's on sale like so often. I'm just surprised it went Games for Gold at all.
I've not got it, so I'm fucking happy with it.
Is that,
I don't know the 360, I haven't the one.
Was Trials Fusion on the 360 as well?
Yeah.
I thought it was only on the one.
Nope.
Learn new things every day.
Unless it has been in the one and I've just not played it for a year because I didn't realise it was on the one, I thought it was on the 360. But I doubt that's the case. I really hope it's not the case.
I really hope it is the case. That'd be quite funny. But no, I guess maybe it's just Runbow that I feel like is pretty shit, because I don't actually know much about Red Faction Armageddon. All I know is it's not the original Red Faction games.
Nah, fucking Red Faction 2 is where it's at, man.
Yeah, I completely agree with you there. That was a fucking glorious title.
Yeah.
Armageddon. I feel like I'm going to look that up a little bit.
No, it's the Aerosmith now.
I feel like this... Has this already been Games for Gold? I feel like we already got a Red Faction game on Games for Gold at one point or another.
Probably.
This is the one where you can get the Mr. Toots Rainbow launcher. I don't know. I might check it out. Not hyped about it. I'm fucking hyped about Slime Rancher though. Holy fucking
Slime
shit.
Rancher is amazing.
It's one of those.
Not even gonna lie.
It's one of those titles. Like whether I think the game is shite or not. By the way, I will absolutely grab it from Games with Gold because it is just worth doing so.
Yeah, it's free game.
Free stuff.
It's a free game. Absolutely. Why would you not do that? Especially if
take what you can and give nothing back.
Especially if when you consider because I know a couple of people that I personally find a little bit strange that just don't even they don't even just click on the game to just get it added to their account so they might be able to play it later. They literally just let it run past and just never grab it. And then some of them complain because they're just like, oh, have you heard about this game? And I'm just like, yeah, it was on Games for Gold fucking ages ago. And they're like, oh, it actually looks really good, and I'm upset that I have to pay for it now. I'm just like, well, fucking grab it then. But Slime Rancher originally was genuinely one of those games that I wasn't going to fucking bat an eyelid at all. And I launched it completely randomly the other day just to see what it was about, because I occasionally do that when I'm not quite sure what I'm in the mood to play. I'll just try out one of the games on Games for Gold and see what it's like.
Yeah.
And holy fuck, it might be the funnest game that I've played all year.
It's the randomest game.
It's
Definitely.
It's definitely random as fuck, but holy shit, is it addictive as cunt.
I'm currently playing it right now, and I've already played it for 4 hours today?
Something like that. I've played it for about 4 hours today as well. I was playing it this morning, then I went and did a bunch of editing, grabbed like 2.5 hours worth of podcast footage from it, which will absolutely be
Ambitious.
the podcast footage that I use like from for this podcast. It is fucking random. It makes no fucking sense. Like, me and Shauni have spoken to each other at length about this game. It genuinely sounds like we're speaking another fucking language, but it's on until the 31st of August, and I would fucking urge everybody to download it and give it a try, because it's so fucking fun.
Just as a little thing, how random it is, right? I have just fed Cuberries to a phosphor slime, got phosphor and I forgot what they're called, honey plorts. And I've just cashed them in.
Yeah, it's when you speak about shit like plorts, like
plorts.
Yeah, plorts. Like
that sounds like something straight out of fucking Rick and Morty, man.
I completely agree with you, and I think it just has that kind of like really outlandish, like, and very very cartoony vibe to it. But it's like, essentially you're a farmer, and you do all of your farming with a gun.
That sucks stuff.
Yeah. You suck stuff into your gun and fire it back out, and like depending on what you do, it does various things. And the main aim of the game is to collect. Well, it's to sell plorts and get money.
And make money, yeah, and then have a full slime ranch.
Well, I don't even think that's really an aim. That's just something that you would do as part of that, because it makes the most sense, because that's how you're going to make the most money. But
chickens. I've ran out of roosters as well. You
can literally do like whatever the fuck you want in this game. It's amazing. But you collect loads of different types of slimes. You can breed them together to make like what they call largo slimes, which are like a combination of the two different slimes you bred together.
And then you have random Gordo slimes, which you need to fill until they pop.
And they give you keys, which unlock new areas. It's so addictive. Like, there's just such a load of shit in it, but it's so good. It's like the fucking cutest little fucking game I've ever come across, and it's so fun.
My puddle slime are happy again.
I really want my puddle slime to be happy. I know they're not right now because I'm not playing the game.
What a conversation, it makes sense.
Yeah.
But no, genuinely, if you've got time, at least grab it so it's on your account so you can check it out at some point. Like, it's genuinely really, really fucking fun. I imagine it's definitely not a lot of people's idea of a good time, but it's fucking great. Ross, if you like Farming Simulator, I think this is straight up your fucking alley. I think you would have endless fucking fun with this game.
I probably would. You know
that. It's absolutely that style of game. It's really not what I expected at all. When I went into it, I genuinely thought it was going to be some kind of like, not like real-time strategy, but for some reason I expected it to be like a top-down sort of like, you know, like RTS almost, like farming management sort of simulator.
Not a real-time strategy, but an RTS.
Yeah. But like just in that style, like it wouldn't really kind of be RTS, that would it?
Like an adventure RPG, I think is what you're after.
Yeah.
Like the Helsing game.
No, not even really like that. Like I genuinely mean just like the sort of like the building and the management aspects of an RTS, but without actually combat in it. I don't know why. I just expected it to be top down, but it's not. It's first person, and it was a bit weird when I first got into it. I was like, that's a bit of a strange choice, but it works so fucking well with this.
Fair play.
But yeah, no, Ross, I guarantee you will have a lot of fun with that game if you try it, and I will absolutely hear you talking loads about it at some point.
Probably.
Speaking of Ross and like farming shit, every time I see a tractor, I think, oh, Ross would like that.
He would.
I like farming. There's something peaceful and down to earth about it.
There's definitely the vibe that I've gotten from the game most often is that that is absolutely a game that I will play when I'm stressed, because it is so fucking chilling. Like it just.
But it's so stressful at the same time.
Well, it is when you've got loads to do and loads to manage, but it's not like you're punished for getting it too wrong. Like,
if you get it wrong, you can make them happy again in like 2 seconds.
Yeah, you just need to like put in a little bit extra work for a wee bit. Like I don't actually think there's a way to full on kill the slimes. I think they do die if you don't feed them.
There is. By making a larger slime eat a plort that it hasn't made. Yeah. And it turns into a rainbow bad thing.
Fucking what?
Because you can breed 2 different styles of slime together, this is just going to be the hardest thing to explain. This is explaining Slime Rancher to a caveman. Right, because you can get 2 different types of slime that you can breed together and they'll make a largo.
They make 2 different kinds of plorts at that point.
They make 2 different kinds of plorts because they make one style of plort for each of the style of slime that is like embedded within them to make the combination. But if they
eat something that's not in their DNA,
yeah, then they turn into like this kind of like black. They turn into like this kind of black ooze monster that just wants to eat other slimes and you, and they just like basically destroy your fucking collection of slimes. You find them out in the wild all the fucking time.
Especially at night. They're evil.
Yeah, they're way more common at night. That's because the phosphor slimes come out.
Mostly come at night, mostly.
But yeah, fucking segueing from one Xbox game to another. I feel like I've talked about Halo more this week than I have for a very long time.
Yes, you have.
And I really want to fucking play it again. I actually really do. Like, we've been speaking for ages about going back to the Master Chief Collection. I think soon is the time.
Yes, absolutely.
Because I've been really wanting to get back into playing it a bit. Because
I mean, that's just doing a Reach fucking legendary run soon.
That would be good as well.
It's, as far as I know, it's like one of the only one we've not actually ran through on legendary yet.
Not altogether anyway. I don't think.
Not together.
You might be totally right with that, to be honest.
No, he is, because we did ODST when that came out.
Oh, fuck,
we did 3.
Right.
Yep.
We did 4.
Mm-hmm.
We did 5.
Several times.
Have we done 5 on legendary?
Yeah. We did 5 quite a few times, actually.
We done normal, then heroic, then legendary.
Do you know what? It was kind of your little cousin's fault, Shauni, to be honest.
Yeah.
He's currently got my copy of Halo Reach, and he's been playing fucking loads of it. He's
got a 360, and he's only he's been playing Halo for maybe a couple of years, but he's only ever played 1 or 2. So I showed him Reach, and he's absolutely addicted to it now. And it's bringing back like all the memories for me, and it's brilliant.
Yeah, it's doing the same thing for me. Like I jumped in and played a level in co-op with him, and like I was remembering like where all the little sort of nooks and crannies and where all the secret stuff was, and like how to get certain guns in certain levels and the best way to traverse through levels. Like it just all came back as muscle memory. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
See,
I think that shit happens.
It's really good for him because he's not normally. This sounds horrible, but he's not normally that good at certain things. But as soon as he turns on Halo, he can really play it. And it's brilliant to kind of watch it at the same time. If that makes sense.
It does.
Especially when you're watching, I kind of find it's like pretty much a constant when I'm watching a younger person start to experience a franchise that I experienced like from long time ago. And they're starting to build up the skills that like are already in place. Like by the time you kind of hit our kind of ages,
yeah.
And it's just like it's just really like endearing and really nice to watch. Like somebody kind of like learning that all from scratch. Like you can't imagine a time when that was fresh in your mind, but like it was really nice to see somebody learning it all from scratch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I really want to like go back into Halo 5 a bit more as well and give that more of a try, like especially with the doing more of the campaign stuff, because we've done a Legendary run, but I really feel like I haven't experienced a lot of that game's campaign, but I think it is just because I've literally ran through it about 2, maybe 3 times. Like, I feel like every other of the Halo games I know inside out, like front to back, and like where loads of different little bits and pieces and secrets are, and that game I just feel like I actually play it as it's intended.
I've not actually played 5 all the way through yet.
I think a lot of that's to do with like where we all kind of were in life when 5 came out, because like when the rest of them came out we were a lot younger, we had a lot less on, and then when 5 came out, like we're all adults, we've all got jobs, we played it through a couple of times just to get the achievements for it, and then kind of put it down and went back to games that didn't require all that much thought for a while. That and Destiny was the thing.
Well, even at that point, Destiny didn't require a huge amount of thought for us. I mean,
no, but just we were playing it a lot, is what I was saying.
Yeah. No, I'm totally with you. It's I guess it is always that, like, because I mean, like, I was speaking to Ross about this the other day, but like Sonic is getting like a kind of like a proper retro reboot that's coming out next week. And
Don't these fucking die already, man.
I'm really fucking excited. Like I agree with you, Alex. Like all the new or modern Sonic games, most of them have been fucking atrocious. Absolutely terrible, and just have nothing on the originals whatsoever. But like this one's an actual proper retro reboot. Like going proper right back to the like OG 2G 2D Sonic.
Even at that, man, like fucking.
It's not Sonic 4 though. Like I'm on about like it's an actual proper retro, proper feeling Sonic like 2D.
Aye,
game,
but
not a Sonic
like,
4 style one.
I get that it's like a new Sonic. It's probably a new Sonic game, but like we had Sonic Generations, and even that kind of put in your face that these were not good games, man.
But like I actually really enjoyed Generations, to be honest. I thought it was one of the better ones. Like I feel like because I really never liked any of the like what they call quote unquote modern Sonic games, like where he's in 3D. I really didn't feel like any of those games flowed very well at all. But Sonic Generations did open my eyes to the kind of possibility of that actually working fairly well, because I think they pretty much nailed it.
In terms of the 3D ones, I actually quite enjoyed Sonic Unleashed. A wee bit.
No, it was terrible. Terrible.
I actually enjoyed it. Never mind. I'll shut up now.
No, I don't know, like, I did play Unleashed, and I found it just totally terrible. I've never played, like, apparently, like, Adventure 2 is, like, one of the better 3D Sonic ones as well, but, like, I've never played that one.
Same one of the better ones is, like, comparing falling dog shit to falling fucking cat shit. Like, either way, you're falling shit.
But, anyway, my original point for all that was, like, just the fact that, like, with that coming out, like I know that I'm gonna really want to play a lot of that like new / old Sonic game that's gonna come out. I'm gonna spend a lot of time with it probably, but I'm always gonna feel like it wasn't as good as like playing like fucking Sonic 3 and Knuckles like when I was a kid on my fucking Sega like Mega Drive.
But that's that whole
and it's just because
don't reboot your heroes type thing.
Yeah, well, it is that. It is absolutely that. And it's also just the fact that I already know I'm not going to enjoy it as much as I enjoyed playing that game as a kid. Because that game, when I was a kid, was pretty much one of the only games that I had. And I basically just had to make my own fun with it by playing it through, like, 400 fucking times. Like, I literally have played that game, like, front to back 400 times or more. Like,
that's like, if they ever like brought out like a new Tiny Tasmanian Tiger game, I doubt I could play it, because there's that whole that could ruin my very fond memories of playing that as a win.
Well, put it like Ross, you were speaking about the Crash Bandicoot trilogy thing coming to Xbox. Like you were saying that you quite
there's there's rumors that the Crash remake is going to be coming to Xbox One. And I was saying that I really want that because, like, Crash Bandicoot was my fucking game back in the day.
I was more a Croc kid myself.
See, I liked Croc as well. I never really got too into Crash. I played it, but I just kind of thought it was alright. I never got hugely into it. I think partly because like it was a very hard platformer, and at the time I was kind of into, I suppose, like slightly easier games at that point in my life. I suppose I did pick Crash up and play it for a little bit when I was very, very young. But I guarantee, like, if it does come to Xbox One, I guarantee, Ross, you'll buy it. I guarantee you'll probably play it through all the way, but you'll probably not touch it much past that. You won't spend, like, literally thousands of hours trying to 100% stuff like you would when you were a kid.
Well, when I was a kid, I couldn't get past fucking Ripperoo, so...
Yeah,
like, mate,
fair point.
This is a chance for you to see a whole other side of the game.
No, I would just say Mum would beat Ripperoo for me. And we'd get to what was the giant koala did.
I don't know.
He'd throw boulders at your dad. Could do that level. But I didn't have a memory card, so every time it'd be like, right, Mum, I'm going to need you in about 20 minutes. Dad, you're about half an hour. Just slot yourselves in, do the levels that I can't do, and then fuck off, I'll do the rest.
I really want to play the game before.
I never, in some ways I feel like I would have really liked that experience, but I don't think I ever had the experience of my parents, like, certainly not my dad. I don't think he's ever picked up any of my like game console controllers ever. Because he's just like, I'm pretty sure he'll tell you as well. Like he literally, like, Space Invaders in the arcade was like the pinnacle of like what he was used to in games, and he just can't wrap his head around anything else.
Aye.
Like controls wise, it just like his hand-eye coordination and everything's just not up for it. So he doesn't bother because he just finds it way too confusing.
I see. My mum played a fucking ton of games. Like even when she was younger. Like we've still got her old ZX Spectrum.
Oh, nice.
But like she used to play fucking Tomb Raider, like fucking religiously. She loved those games. But I think my dad played Call McRae Rally very briefly. That was it.
My mum originally wasn't very into games, but she got further into games as like time went on.
You kind of had the opposite effect, like, because I'll guarantee that like myself, Ross, and Alex here probably got into games because a parent or a relative or a close friend in childhood was really into games, and that's what started us off.
I got into games because of my uncle. My uncle was very much into his games, and every Xbox I've had, including the one I've got now, was a hand-me-down from him.
Well, not including the one you've got now, because that's the one, and that's yours.
Oh, that was meaning like the 360.
Yeah, I knew what you meant, but I was clarifying for everyone else.
I was meaning the 360. Yeah. Up until that point, it was all hand-me-downs from him, and like my mum, most she got in gaming was probably Alex the Kid when she was younger.
Solid game.
That was such a good game. We actually still have her booklet that she made that has the cheats for every single level.
In the box of stuff for the Spectrum, there's a little map my mum drew out for one of the levels. So she could fucking remember where to go, because it was like a dark room. Like a dark like screen, and you had to like navigate from one side to the other. Yeah,
I know exactly what one you're on about. Now, my mum used to, you know how you had the question marks where it was either like a health perk or it was the little thing that used to chase you through the level, the little mole.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mum used to draw out that and tell you what one was in what, so that you could basically get through without hitting a single mole through the entire game.
Mole.
Molly, 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 molly.
Fucking, we need to get together again and just like marathon Austin Power songs.
Yeah, we do.
Oh, that would be really good.
Did any of you ever play Star Wars: The Phantom Menace?
The PS1/PC game.
Yeah.
What, like the really fucking blocky one with like where you controlled fucking all the different characters.
You controlled like Obi-Wan in the first few levels,
Yeah, and Qui-Gon, and you did Panaka and stuff like that. Yeah. I played the shit out of that game.
I remember, because I played that game when I was really young. There was always one bit I could never do, right? because I was scared of it.
You were scared of it?
I was scared of it.
I was originally thinking it was the bit that I always failed at, but maybe I'm wrong.
No. It wasn't that I couldn't do it, it's that I was too scared to do it, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you what bit that was, Jamie. That was level 1. The bit when you go in the vent to sneak into the hangar. I think it Dad did that every single time. There was just something about going in the vent I did not like. Remember, you go in the vent and then like there's service robots that if they see you, they will come at you and electrocute you. Freaked the fuck out of me when I was little.
Yeah, and like you're kind of pushed into the vent because there's a couple of destroyer droids that appear behind you.
Yeah, so you can't leave. So you've got to make your way through.
I mean, you could, but you'd be a fucking idiot if you did.
Yeah. I had to get Dad to do that every single time. I just couldn't do it.
Fucking... Like, there were so many people that were responsible for, like, getting me into games. Like, my mum had a Commodore 64.
Nice.
Which she hooked up in my room at one point when I like got my first TV, and it was like it must have been like a week or two after I'd been playing the Commodore 64 that Mum and Dad got me like a Sega Mega Drive, because it was kind of like birthday Christmas time, so like I feel like the TV was like early birthday present because they couldn't really fucking hide it because TVs were fucking huge in those days.
Yeah.
So they gave it to me like a couple of days early. It was like on like the 10th of December, and like for Christmas Day I remember unboxing the Sega Mega Drive. That like they got it with like 7 fucking games with it, and it was like mesmerizing how many games I had. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
But those same 7 games literally lasted me like fucking like 5 or 6 years. I remember collecting the odd few extra ones, but it was always those originals that I went back to. I'm pretty sure I had Sonic 1 and 2. I remember picking up Sonic and Knuckles at a later point, and Sonic 3 was in my original collection, and then Streets of Rage. That was a fucking great game, by the way.
As in my initial like sort of haul of games, there was fucking Tomb Raider, Heart of Darkness, and Croc. Heart of Darkness is a fucking dino game, man, but I couldn't play. I was terrified of it. Which makes sense.
Is that one that got re-released quite recently?
I don't think it did. It was on Game Grumps. But like you died in like fucking incredibly gruesome ways in that game.
I'm gonna Google it. I think it is. I think I know the one that you're on about.
If it did get released, I'm hyped to play it again. It's fucking great.
Games I always used to play was the Army Men games.
Oh yeah.
Do you ever play the helicopter ones?
That is the one that I'm thinking of. I'm pretty sure that has been re-released.
Ape.
Alex.
Did any of you ever play Hogs of War?
Yes. Oh, that game was brilliant.
Yeah, it was.
It was fucking fantastic. I remember the training level.
Yeah.
Was a complete bitch because there was one bit you had to jump over water.
Yep. I can never do it.
I managed it eventually. After losing umpteen pigs.
Yeah. Many a pigs lost to that puddle.
Yeah, there was.
Oh, fucking that was a good
game. That was a good game.
Admittedly, it wasn't until I got the PS2, but fucking Time Splitters, man.
No, I never played that.
It was the game that kind of got me into speedrunning, to a degree.
Yeah.
Time Splitters was a big one for... Time Splitters was a weird one for me. I'll go into that full explanation later, because that was like when I changed console, but...
Well, for me, it was like an introduction to speedrunning, because obviously how that worked, like, you ran through missions in your time, so it was like, how fast can I do it, sort of thing. You know, that was like how I got interested in that. And then it became like my first sort of foray into map building, because in Time Splitters 1, you could actually fucking make your own maps, which to me, like, for coming out when it did, that's way ahead of its time.
Yeah, because that was an old game, so yeah. That was way ahead.
Like, it wasn't as clean or refined as Forge and Halo, but it was still like mind blowing up. I can make my own map and play it. Fucking awesome.
Trying what other games I had. I had a lot of the Army Men games, especially the helicopter ones. like where you'd fly the Green Army's helicopters.
Yeah.
It's like Air Assault, I think it was called.
Yeah, something like that.
I
had the Pod Racer game for the fucking not the PC, so the fucking we're on Mac family.
I had it for the PC. It was fucking great.
Great. My introduction to gambling as a kid. Because you could bet on the races.
Yeah, you could.
I'm pretty sure I had it on PC as well. Because like,
I want to play it again. It was awesome.
Getting the running again is a fucking nightmare.
I could do it.
Okay, what I had to do.
Speaking of games, we can get that running.
Yeah. Jamie, remember I sent you a picture a couple fucking weeks ago of old games I found in my CD rack?
Yeah.
Remember one of them was Theme Park World.
Oh,
Yeah.
mate.
I gave the disc to my mum because that's my mum's favourite game. And she went home that night and she phoned me and says, I can't get this to work on my laptop. Can you have a look at it? I maybe spent an hour trying to get it to work and finally got it working. I had to create a virtual drive for her laptop to run it. That's what it required.
Yeah, you pretty much have to do stuff like that. I remember playing a shit ton of Theme Park World on, I think it was the PlayStation 1, I want to say.
It was the PS2.
Or was it PS2 that was on? Fuck.
Yeah.
I thought it was earlier than that, but...
Because I remember we got it because me and Mum were always fighting over who could play Theme Park World, like on the computer. Because the computer back then was in the fucking living room.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember Mum bought me it for the PS2 so that we could play it at the same time. But the PS2 version was utter gash compared to the PC version.
Oh, it's like fucking. I had like Diablo and Warcraft, not like the original ones. Command and Conquer as well. No, Command and Conquer 2, I think it was.
Played a fuck ton of Command and Conquer. Age of Empires 2 was a big one for like early PC gaming for me. Played a fuck ton of that.
I can't remember what it's called. I think it was like it's probably Hospital World or something like that. It was like basically Theme Park World, but you built a hospital.
Theme Hospital.
So I had that.
I had that as well. It was great.
It was one of the best fucking games ever. I couldn't ever get very far in it. I would love to replay it now because I imagine I would actually be able to do it.
They understand that,
Well, yeah, because I would actually understand it better. Because I remember at the time playing it as a kid, like I would get through the first couple of levels because basically like money and shit was no object. It wasn't really. Yeah, like it was pretty much impossible to fail the first few levels because they were just training you how to do the rest of the game.
Aye.
But like, in terms of like the rest of the game, you had to like balance like basically as soon as I had enough money to buy a new room to solve like new people's problems, I would do it and then hire new staff for it as soon as I had the money. But like as a kid, the concept of paying my existing staff, I was just like, why do I have to do that? They're already here. They already work. And I would go bankrupt every single time in the later levels just because I would forget that I needed to have money to pay the staff that were already there.
Yeah.
I would kind of rush into like making sure that everybody's different treatments could be done, rather than like I'm fairly certain like the rest of the time, like if somebody walked in the door and they had a problem that I couldn't help them with, I was like, oh no, fuck it, I've lost. That's the game over.
Yeah.
I haven't run my hospital efficiently enough. Whereas like these days you would just be like, I can't do that yet, but I'll get around to it.
Yeah. But a fucking ton of StarCraft when I was younger as well, actually.
First game I ever remember playing on the PC was X-Wing versus TIE Fighter.
Aye.
Which I currently have installed on my PC now, and I'm tempted to play.
Ross, maybe you'll be able to help me with this one, because I was thinking about this one the other day, and I don't know if it was the X-Wing game or if it was another game of that style. But I'll tell you how it starts, and this is all I remember about the game, because the only experience of me playing it was on my uncle's old computer, because he had like a ripped copy of it that was impossible for him to make other copies and put it on other people's computers. Like he just had like a kind of hardware copy of it that he couldn't find a way to move to a disc that his mate had given to him at work or something. And the only thing I remember was that you started in a Millennium Falcon style starship. And your first, like...
Yeah, I know what you're on about.
Your first mission was literally to go to a couple of different points, hyperspace to different bits, and basically like tag stuff, farm stuff, and collect stuff out of crates, and then hyperspace back, and then there was a short fight, and then that was it. That's all I remember.
I know what game you're on about, and I can't remember its name.
But that was my first experience of that kind of Star Wars style thing. I really wanted to get into all the X-Wing and the Star Wars TIE Fighter and all of that. I wanted to get into it so bad, but I never did. Never.
See, I always struggled when it was Wii, right? Because I didn't understand that your ship only had so much power, and you've got
that was my issue. That was why I couldn't get into it.
Yeah, you've got to handle how much your weapons recharge, your shields or your engines. So basically, you can have 2 of 3. You can either have shields that will regen, or you can have engines that are quite quick, or you can have weapons that are quite that will recharge, but you can't have any of the others.
Mm-hmm.
So it's always a case of you're having to change your power settings and everything. So when you go into a fight, you set your shields to forward, and then once you've done your first engagement, you set them to equal around your ship.
Yeah.
And then you take your engine speed down, but you put your firepower up. And then when you're done your fight, you put your firepower down, your shields up so they can recharge, and you boost your power to your engines. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, in terms of the technology that's in that game, it's so much more involved. I find even a decent sort of dog fighting sim these days doesn't have stuff that felt as authentic as that. That was just as simple as that, as a few buttons to do different things, but just felt as actually engaging as being in that actual fight.
Because those few little those few little button presses would make a massive difference depending on what role you played in the battle as well. Because you could choose what squadron you'd fly in as. So you could go in as Red Squadron and you were taking out enemy fighters, or you could go in as Gold Squadron. Your job was to take down the Star Destroyer. And so it would differ. So if you were playing the bomber, you'd want your shields double front and your weapons put to max. You wouldn't care so much about your engines because you're not dogfighting.
Yeah.
So it made a massive difference.
And see, do you ever go back and play it now, Ross?
Yeah, I've got a couple hours logged on it.
Do you ever feel it's as good as when you were experiencing that game?
Yes.
You still find it as good?
I still enjoy it.
There's very few games that I still get that feeling with. For some games, it's just that the original system isn't there. I think unless I replayed the original sort of few Sonic games on an actual Sega Mega Drive, or at least with a controller, maybe a USB version of the controller or something like that hooked into my PC, I just don't feel like I'd get the same feeling. I don't think it would be the right one.
Mm-hmm.
But there is a couple of games that still hold that feeling for me. I don't think anybody else here has ever played it, but Half-Life for me, the original one.
Yep.
That was a massive, massive fucking game for me. Growing up, I played it so much, and I still genuinely think it's one of the best FPS games of all time.
I wouldn't say it's one of the best. It's definitely. It's very much a game that defined the genre of first-person shooters. It's hard to deny that.
It had a lot of stuff that inspired a lot of things that you see nowadays.
That's what I mean. It set the groundwork from the modern FPS genre. But again, for me, the best FPS game out there, Time Splitters. Either Time Splitters or Red Faction 2. That's the two that I've got the most time in, even with my thousands of hours in fucking Destiny and Call of Duty and all that sort of shit.
Yeah. But then it does come down to kind of an identity point for yourself as well, though. You'll go with them as your defining first person shooters, because they were your first experiences with it, and you absolutely fucking love them to death, even today, and that's very apparent, and I completely appreciate that. I love that every person's sort of every person's first experience, every person's sort of go-to for what defined the genre for certain things for them is both unique and creditable in the same account.
Yeah.
Because I'll completely agree with you. I actually think that Time Splitters, when you break it down, was probably a good sort of starting point for where we're at with franchises like Halo today.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Like that was absolutely a defining thing. Whereas like it's probably a little harder to like define exactly where Half-Life fits into the modern genre, because I still think, like, especially with Half-Life 2, it did a lot of things and worked with a lot of different pacings that you don't really see generally in the FPS genre. Like, I can't even think of anything that uses like the physics like sort of engine like that anywhere near to that degree in like
nothing
games.
that I can think of.
Like, but I think that's just because it was quite unique in that respect. Like if you ever play Half-Life 2, like for me, there's a very defining section in that game where after your first sort of few action sequences, which by the way, it takes quite a bit for you to actually get into when stuff's happening. Like there's a lot of told from first person, full control over your
there's
character.
a lot of narrative sort of stuff.
A lot of narrative stuff going on in the first few parts of the game. And like I'm even thinking with Half-Life 2 that the same is kind of like prevalent there. Like there's a lot of narrative going on. And
yeah, it's that good. It's like it's almost controlled cutscenes is the way I describe it.
Yeah, I would completely agree with you. For me, like the way that it kind of stands out for me is that like there's a section in Half-Life 2 which I always nicknamed the rooftop run, which is like after you're first getting chased down by the I can't even remember what they're officially called. I think Combine in Half-Life 2.
The Combine.
Well, you're getting chased down with them. You run over rooftops. You end up going down into like a kind of like almost like a sewer system.
Yeah.
You're still on the run, and up until that point, it has just been run for your life. But as you enter the sewer system, you're actually confronted with a couple of physics puzzles. Like right in the middle of a chase scene, you've got a physics puzzle to work out. And it's just like, looking back on it and playing it now, I still love it. But it is a really weird way to pace a game, to throw a physics puzzle in the middle of, like, an action sequence.
For me, the sort of the bit that sealed the deal for me in Half-Life 2, it was Ravenholm.
Ravenholm was a fucking gold mine of, like, what that game could fucking achieve. Like the way it played with physics in that whole section, because
that's what I mean. Like that, because of the sort of physics. That's. I mean, you can get through all of Ravenholm fairly easily with just a gravity gun.
Well, it is almost deliberately intended that way.
Yes,
like
there's unit for it as well.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, but it's like they basically give you in Half-Life 2. They give you a gun that you can basically manipulate like small objects with.
Most importantly, fucking saw blades.
So, like saw blades, like pikes or spears, propane tanks, like explosive barrels, that kind of thing.
Or big ball things like a robot.
Nothing really, anything above like a kind of the size of a barrel. Anything else with that, it kind of struggles. It can sometimes pull stuff, but it can't full on pick it up or launch it.
Anything that you could pick up as just your character, you could launch with the gravity gun, basically.
Mm-hmm. And this like sort of section just after you get the gravity gun is basically set up in such a way where there's so much
Jess.
There's so much shit littered around the next section that just has slow, like for the most part, slow moving zombies in and around it, that you can basically just use and abuse that physics system and just get through it using the physics objects to kill your enemies.
Like, to be fair, trying to nail a head crab with a fucking saw blade was a nightmare.
Yeah, they were a bit of a pain in the ass. I always saved propane tanks for them to burn them off in the last. But I remember like playing through that section thousands of times in different ways. Like
it's one of the few games my laptop can still run, so I might actually fucking play it a bit tomorrow.
Yeah, there's not much your laptop can run.
No, it's like fucking a joke of me. Like ages ago, that still fucking stands through. Like my laptop can handle 2 functions. Just unfortunately, it counts being on as one of the functions.
But like, there's just so many good like fucking old games out there. Like, so much stuff that like it wasn't littered with like the fucking microtransactions and DLC fucking plague of modern like games. Like, don't get me wrong, there's still modern games that come out that I fucking love.
But let's be real here. Fucking Half-Life 2 is the ultimate incomplete fucking DLC game.
In terms of the fact that it had 2 episodes after it, you mean?
Yes. Episode 3, motherfucker.
Yeah, well, it's never going to happen ever.
It has to. I need it.
I want it as well, but like for people that aren't invested in it,
Yeah.
they're not going to want that.
Well, that was the point I was going to make as well. You said about like there's so many good old games. It's like it kind of makes me sad. There's a lot of these games that kids now won't really get the chance to go back and play unless it's on like Steam or something like that. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, and a lot of times, unless it's in something like a kind of humble bundle or something like that like will tempt people to like buy perhaps a selection of the newer games that are bundled with all the retro stuff that comes along, as part of that. But I mean, like, even at our age, there's old games that like we've missed. Like, like people go on and on at length about like Deus Ex, the original. Never played it. I've got it. I've bought it on Steam with the intention of playing it, but I haven't gotten around to it yet. And it's just one of those things where like a lot of people find that weird that like as into games as I am, I never experienced that. But it's just not what I was into.
I mean, even I've fucking played it,
Yeah. But it's just, I don't know, like, it's fantastic, but it's the same with like anything really though, eh? Like, I mean, we can speak about music and stuff, and a lot of like younger people won't have experienced the same music, at least not in the same way as we did.
Yeah.
Because if they kind of like find a band that they kind of like, even if they've stopped releasing music now and we liked them in our childhood, they'll never have the experience of waiting for their next album to come out or waiting to see if they go on tour again. Like, they'll never have that. It's just that if they're into it, suddenly all their music's available to them straight away.
Yeah.
There's no...
It's nice in a way.
It's nice in a way, but there's no sort of, like, slow discovery process there. It's just kind of an instantaneous sort of gratification from it.
Yeah, it's like I do the same thing with... Well, I do that with Game of Thrones. I don't watch it when it comes out. I wait till it comes out and then I binge watch.
That's what I
skip
do.
the whole process by just not watching it in general.
Nah, it's great. You should watch it.
It is actually really good.
See, I'm
There's titties, Alex. Titties.
I know there's titties.
There's lots of titties.
There's dick as well.
Who else has titties and dick? Tumblr.
It's true.
Don't need to wait half a year for that to fucking come out.
It's there all the time.
Yeah.
But see, by the time you finish watching all the other seasons, this season will be wrapped, and then that's you.
I don't want to. To be fair, I tried watching it. I really did.
Yeah, but this is the thing. You got to get through the first season. You got to power through.
That's the thing. Is
great.
If a show can't grab me by, the first season, it's not worth watching in my opinion. That's just the way I see it. It's like The Walking Dead as well. Like, I dropped off The Walking Dead during season 2 because to me, having to wait a full season for a fucking payoff, it just isn't happening.
To be fair, season 2 is very rough.
Yes.
I dropped out of the second episode of Walking Dead because the horse died.
Spoilers.
Spoilers. Walking Dead for me, like my mum and dad are still watching it and are still saying like, "Oh, it's really good. You should watch it. You should catch up." And I'm just like, no, I'm not interested because as far as I'm concerned, season 1 was a near perfect roundhouse.
Yes.
It started well. It progressed well. The threat was quite clear. The survival aspect of it was very well laid. The run-up to the conclusion was well paced. The conclusion itself was really well done, and the way it ended, it could have been left absolutely perfectly right there.
But I think that's why season 1 of Walking Dead was like that, because I don't think they were really prepped for a second season to get greenlit. So they had to kind of have an arc that could wrap itself up in one season.
Something that could work as a standalone, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and I still do stand by that season 1 of like The Walking Dead might be one of my favourite seasons of anything that I've watched on TV. It's genuinely really fucking good. But everything following that, and even the bits and pieces that I've caught up with now, I just feel like it's changed from that raw survival. And I understand that like that's probably fairly realistic, and that you wouldn't still be dealing with the raw survival aspect of it after quite a while into this apocalypse. Like, you would end up dealing with lots of other problems, which the gang do end up dealing with. But
I've heard a lot of people say that now it's a case of it's no longer fighting zombies; it's fighting the other humans.
Yeah, it's that humans are the sort of the other groups of humans are the main threat, and the zombies are kind of like the background cannon fodder to it all.
When you put all that, just sounds like Mad Max with zombies.
I mean, kind of in a way, it sort of
Just
has
without
gone
a
that way a
Thunderdome.
little bit. But it's like, I don't know. I feel like it kind of lost its way a little bit. Like I'm very much into the survival aspect of stuff like that, and when it goes beyond that and it starts being more about like the just kind of general threat of society, it's a bit weird.
Mm.
And do you know what I found, Ross? I wish I was kind of more like you in this respect, because what we are doing at the moment is me and Shauni we're watching Rick and Morty as it's available in the UK, season 3.
Yep.
We're also,
Should be up today.
It was. We watched it. It was great.
Yeah, I watched it on Monday, to be fair.
And we've gotten back into the Rooster Teeth series Day 5 because season 2 is coming out now. And what I absolutely loved about rewatching Day 5, because like Shauni had only seen 2 episodes of the first season, so we decided to rewatch the whole first season in total before going on to season 2.
It was so good.
Just because of the kind of length of it, we literally wrapped that whole season in like 2 nights, because it's only 6 episodes. And then we watched the first episode of season 2. And the only thing that I fucking hate about both waiting for Rick and Morty and waiting for Day 5 is I've got to fucking wait. I don't want to wait. I want to watch it now.
Yep.
Yeah, stuff like Netflix has kind of ruined that for a lot of folk. Like, with you want to just binge a full fucking series in one go. That's all you want to do. You don't want to hang about and wait a week for a fucking show to come out, which I guess is why I was never really into watching shit on TV in general, but it's why it never really grabbed me as much as it does with other folk. It's like, I can't be fucked waiting a week to find out what the fuck just happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Admittedly, if you're like on your like 16th episode of the night and you really need to go to bed because you're working the next day, it's quite good to have that like anticipation of, yes, I'm going to go home, yes, I'm going to get to watch the next episode of whatever it was I was watching, I'm going to find out that conclusion. That little bit of sort of like self-imposed like excitement about it is great. Like, I love when stuff like that, like when general life kind of gets in the way of like you getting into stuff like that, but like actually physically having to wait for it to be available, like just sometimes when it's not even made yet or whatever's the reason that you can't watch it right now, it just feels so slow. Like everything just feels like it's running in slow motion while you wait for this thing to appear.
Aye. Again, I think that just that whole about like your sort of daily life getting in the way of things, I'd never got that much with watching stuff because I don't watch stuff that often. If I do it on YouTube, and given my previous job and my current job, I can kind of just watch shit at work anyway. For me, it was always with games. I can remember fucking being sat on the couch at like fucking 8:30 in the morning after dropping off my ex at work, and then fucking waiting about to actually go to work myself.
Mm-hmm.
Sitting like, I just want to play Halo, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of mixed. Like, there's some times where I pretty much always do want to be playing games, but there's sometimes when I sit down and I'm not in the mood to actually kind of do anything. I know that sounds like beyond fucking lazy, like you just want to lie on the couch. And like, because like for me and Shauni both, like we both watch a lot of like Let's Play style shows and series and people that do that kind of thing. So like we're literally like we're really into the games and we're really into the entertainment of it. But sometimes we're just so fucking lazy we don't even want to pick up the controller ourselves. We want to watch somebody else do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And part of me feels bad for that, but part of me is also like really fucking likes that. Do you know what? I think we should actually wrap up. That we're coming to a bit of a close. We had a good run. We're nearly an hour and 10 minutes in, so.
Evis.
I didn't like. I noticed we were getting close to time, and I was like, I really don't want to wrap this up. It's such a good chat. But since we've hit an impasse, let's go wrap up. So if you've enjoyed this episode, head on over to www.badgerandpals.com. Find links to our Facebook, Twitter store and YouTube channel right there. If you've got questions for the podcast, or you want to tell us about limbs that you don't have, we've got contact us page right there where you can send stuff over to us. And we can you can leave your email, we can write back if it's not something we want to cover in content. Otherwise, we will probably get around to covering it in content at some point or another and address your question that way. Don't go on it on mobile though; it's a piece of shit.
Yeah, it sucks.
Or at least go on it like landscape mobile. It looks a little bit better there, but it's
still fucked up.
It looks fucking terrible on mobile. Soz. Anyway, bye guys.
I'm Pickle Rick.
Wait.